Good morning, my dear students. Hope you guys are doing good. Dear students, this is chapter number 6. It's not my problem, the name of the chapter. Duties and responsibilities is a moral of the chapter. So, before we start the chapter, let me give you the brief of the chapter as usual. The lesson, the moral of the lesson, the conclusion, final conclusion of the lesson is we should treat any kind of sore at its first stage. We should not let it spread to the level where we cannot control it. Like if you have got any shirt or pant, if it is cut at one small piece or some small portion, we should take action and get it stitched before it spoils the entire shirt. So if there is any small miselement in the society, we should try to curb it, we should try to control it before it leads to the before it damages to the entire society. Similarly, this story is all about one queen and his advisor. Once they are just having a breakfast and in the balcony, and she's taking honey with bread, and a small drop of honey fell down on the balcony railing, and the advisor seeks permission from her and asks we should call one servant to clean this mess up, to this honey on from the railing, so that it should not spread. So she takes it on a lighter note and says, no, it's not my problem, someone will clean it later. And that small drop of honey led to a biggest disaster. It broke fire into her place. It forced the people to fight with each other, cat and dog fight, we can say. And at the end of the story, she realizes that no, I should have done it. It became my problem now, so I should have done it earlier to avoid the damage. So let's start with the chapter now. And excuses are time thieves. Have a goal, accept responsibilities, and take action. So anytime when we say no, I will do it later, I will do it later, because we are giving excuses, because we are feeling lazy, lethargic. So it's always a time thief. It kills your time, and time and tide waits for none. It never comes back. That's why I say have a goal. We must have some goal, accept responsibility. We should accept our responsibilities, duties, and everything, and we should take action, prompt action. Now, before that, the small exercise is there to brush up our knowledge and give a small boost to our health. Stand straight. Pull your toes towards your knees, like bend down. Okay. As you exhale, say word, relax, and slowly open your eyes. Contract the calf muscles and muscles of your lower leg. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. As you exhale, say the word, relax, and slowly open your eyes. Smile at the person next to you. Always, it gives exercise so that we rejoice, our body relaxes, and everything. Now, once upon a time, a queen was eating rice cake and honey with her chief advisor in her balcony. They were gazing down at the busy street. The queen pointed at something, and as she said, some honey dropped from her rice cake and landed on the railing of the balcony. So the queen and her chief advisor were having a rice cake in her balcony. They were looking at the busy street. Normally, when we sit at the veranda and all of a city, we see always cars going on, some horns and all, cycles, scooters and all moving on, and all. It's a busy street. The the queen pointed something, means the aloof of that cake was in her hand, and she pointed out something. And suddenly a drop of honey fell on the from this rice cake, fell on the railing of the balcony. Queen, you have spilled some honey. Shall I call a servant to clean it up? and asked the advisor. On looking at this honey drop falling on the railing, her advisor, chief advisor, say, Queen, you have spilled some honey, honey drops fell on the railing. And shall I call some servant? Shall I call one helper to clean this up? The honey, but the queen laughed. This little honey is not my problem. Someone will clean it up later. Understand? So she took it at a lighter note. She said, no, that's not a problem. Someone will clean it later. I should not call anyone here. The honey warmed in the sun and dripped down on the street. Since the railing is on the balcony and there is a sunshine, because balconies are for sunshine, fresh air and all. So this sunshine warmed the honey drops and it fell down to the street. Because honey is always in viscous form. When we heat it, it becomes kind of a very low dense liquid, like it becomes a kind of a water. Your Highness, the honey on the street is now attracting flies. We should call a servant and to clean it up, said the advisor. When this chief advisor, he saw that honey drops are falling down to the street, and it attracts the flies like honeybees, mosquitoes and all. Okay, they like sweet. But again the queen replied lazily, oh, this little honey and a few flies are not all my problem. Someone will deal with it. Like she was not taking the responsibility of this and said, no, someone will clean it up, like that. Soon a lizard darted out from the palace wall and began to catch the flies with her tongue. Then the next baker's cat came and charged at the lizard. Seeing the cat, the butcher's dog came running. He attacked the cat and bit it on the neck. See, a small drop fell down. Suddenly, it attracted the flies and all. Who eats flies? Lizard. Lizard came out and she charged on the flies to catch its prey with her tongue. And there was a baker's cat besides, and she charged on the lizard because she liked to eat lizards. And as you see from the picture, there is a butcher's dog. Normally butchers keep the dog so that wolves don't attack their animals. So butcher's dog was there also in the scene. So she charged on the cat. Because she liked to eat the cat, kill the cat and eat the cat. And the same happened. He attacked the cat and bit on its neck. Your Highness, the flies who had attracted the lizard now have brought the cats and dogs. Shouldn't we call someone to stop the fight? Asked the advisor. So advisor was giving her the prompt replies all the time. Said, no, this small drop of honey has brought a cat and dog fight here, and we should ask someone to clean it. But the queen was so lazy. Won't you relax? A silly animal fight is not my problem. Someone will surely see to it. Again she replied in a lazy way, can't you relax? Why are you so worried about it? Let it be. A small fight, silly fight of animals is not my problem. Someone will come and just see into it. It is not my problem. It's not going to bother me. The cat belonged to the baker. When he saw the dog attack his cat, he ran out with his rolling pin and began hitting the dog. When the butcher heard his dog howling, he ran out with his broom and began hitting the cat. Soon the butcher and the baker started each other. See, the cat belonged to the baker, and the butcher and the dog belonged to the butcher. When the butcher's dog bit the cat, and she started making noise, okay, and suddenly this baker came with his rolling pin, and he started hitting the dog. On making the howling, he made the noise and all, like he was getting hurt, dog. So dog's owner, the butcher, came out and they start fighting. With now the cat and dog stopped fighting. Now this fight started between the baker and the butcher. Then came the neighboring shopkeepers and soldiers, and the fight turned into a great battle. Someone picked up the lamp from the wall and hurled through the palace window. The curtains caught fire, and soon it spreads across the entire place. See the fire. The level of the fight rose up, and it has reached to the palace, because it involved a lot of soldiers there who was passing through, the people, the men there, everything. So I mean, suddenly some lantern with kerosene oil, someone threw it through a window, and the palace curtains caught the fire, and there was a biggest disaster happening. The curtains caught fire, and soon it spread across the entire palace. See, it started from a small portion, and it spread it to the entire palace now. The queen and her advisor were escorted down to the ladder from the balcony into the street below. The queen, who was enjoying the rice cake and with her chief advisor, the fire was so massive they could not came down of its own. So the firemen had to bring them down by the fireman ladder. When the fire died down, the queen and her advisor surveyed the ruins of their palace. When the fire was brought down by the firemen and all, now queen was surveying the damage and ruins, means it was totally devastated, and the damage was a lot. So she was checking how much damage has happened. I should have cleaned up that drop of honey in the first place. Queen thinks of herself that I should have cleaned that honey of the first place. It turned out to be my problem. See, now it has turned his problem, because her palace got damaged. There was a cat and dog fight. There was a human fights also. So now I have lost my palace because of not taking the responsibility for cleaning the honey that I had dropped. I regret the queen. Now the queen is cutting a sorry figure by not cleaning that honey drop at its first place, because that entire episode led to the greater damage. So the moral of the story goes, we should take prompt action before it leads to the disasters. If it is a small mistake, small action required at now, we should do it at now only. We should not keep it for later. Otherwise, like similarly, when it's applicable to our health also. Like if you have got a small cough or headache or little breathing problem, we should call our doctor. We should go to the hospital or take proper action before, because these things can lead to the greater damage later. Similarly, I told you that when we have got small actions at our home to be taken at proper time, we should do it. We should not gather it for later, because